The Standard & Poor's Index 500 has been one of the most popular index that people want to invest in, especially if they want to do dollar cost average with their cash. So in this video, let us explore how you could invest in the S&P 500, which includes 500 of the leading companies in the US large cap equities. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to Honey Money SG, and in this channel we are all about building financial knowledge, share money saving hacks, and also help you lead a fulfilling quality of life. So quick disclaimer again, this is not financial advice and not sponsored, so just treat everything as entertainment value. So essentially in this video, we'll talk about 3 ways that you could invest with your cash, your CPF, and your SRS in the S&P 500, because we all know for the long term, right, if we invest in the stock market index such as the S&P 500, you'll most likely win the hedge fund managers who go and pick their stocks. And with dollar cost average, you could free up more time because you don't have to read into the charts, read into the news, and all this time is actually money as well, because all this time can be better spent with your family, doing your hobbies, go and earn a second income or side hustle, all this stuff, right? So instead of doing stock picking, then for these people, why not consider just investing in the index? So let's start off with the first option, right? How you could invest in the S&P with your cash. I think investing with cash is the most versatile option, right? Because it has no limitations. You can just easily invest in any kind of the platforms such as Tiger Brokers, Moomoo Brokers, or Interactive Brokers, right? Where you can get your 1 free Apple stock with Tiger and Moomoo, because they are running a limited time promotion where you get your 1 free Apple stock worth $200. So why not go sign up, get your free stock, and then you can start investing as well. So if you are investing using Tiger or Moomoo Brokers, then you can buy this ticker called VOO. So this is an ETF which tracks the S&P 500 Index, and it's actually offered by one of the best ETF companies, Vanguard, right? And the good thing is it has really low expense ratio of 0.02%. So it's really one of the cheapest expense ratios that you could see that actually tracks the S&P 500 Index. But of course, the bad thing is because it is listed in the US for VOO, you actually will suffer a 30% withholding tax rate. What that means is that for every $100 dividends that you receive for VOO, $30 will go back to the US state, because this is actually their withholding tax, and then the $70 will then go into your stockbroking account. Not only withholding tax, right, we also talk about estate tax. Let's say if you really pass away the next day, then you are subjected to US estate taxes, which could be as high as 40%. I think that's a really big chunk to pay to the United States. So one of the alternatives, right, we could also invest in this ticker called CSPX. Now CSPX is an ETF which also tracks the S&P 500 Index, but the difference is it is actually listed in the London Stock Exchange instead of United States. And because CSPX is actually domiciled in Ireland, you will actually suffer a 15% withholding tax instead of the 30% withholding tax of VOO. And not only that, right, because it is not listed in the United States, then most likely your estate taxes will not be a concern anymore, because that is more applicable to the US stocks. CSPX also has a really low expense ratio of 0.07%, which is not too shabby either, kind of cheap. But the thing about CSPX is that you cannot use your Tiger or Moomoo Brokers to invest in it, because they don't offer London Stock Exchange trading within Tiger or Moomoo. So you have to open the Interactive Brokers account, then you can set up your trading access to London Stock Exchange so that you can buy your CSPX off the London Stock Exchange. The other option is if you really have a low amount to DCA every month, dollar cost average, then you can also consider what I'm doing as well, which I actually do dollar cost average into the Syfe ROBO-ADVISOR, and I select the custom portfolio, and then I choose CSPX as one of my tickers that I want to invest in every month. So you'll avoid all the FX conversion fees, all the stockbroking transaction fees, because they could all add up, especially if you have a low value investment. But they must make money somewhere else, right? So they will make money off your 0.65 management fee annually in Syfe. Yeah, so that is for cash investments, right? We talk about the second option, which is CPF. Now, if you have followed my channel for quite a while, you'll know that I actually use this robo-advisor called Endowus, because Endowus is the only robo-advisor that could allow you to invest your CPF. And in particularly, I invest my CPF with Endowus to get this product called Lionglobal Infinity US500, which tracks the S&P 500 Index. So the expense ratio of this Lionglobal Infinity US500 is around 0.36%, and coupled with the management access fee of Endowus, which is 0.3% a year, we are looking at an expense ratio in total of around 0.66%. 0.66% may sound really high to you, but because there is really no alternative, right, Tina? So at this point, the best use case of CPF investing is actually through Endowus in the S&P 500 Index funds such as Lionglobal Infinity US500. And that's what I'm doing. And you can also follow my Endowus videos as well, because I publish my updates and my portfolio results every 1 to 2 months, right? So you go and check out my Endowus videos. The last option, we are going to talk about SRS funding, right? How to use SRS to invest in the S&P 500 Index. There are actually two fundamental ways that I could see. Firstly is through Endowus as well, because Endowus also offers you to invest your SRS, and you could use the same SRS to invest in the Lionglobal Infinity US500 that is offered by them. Of course, with the same expense ratio that I discussed previously, which is 0.36% in the Lionglobal Infinity US500 and 0.3% in the management access fees of Endowus. And the good thing about investing in Lionglobal Infinity US500 using Endowus is you can buy up to fractional shares. If you have a really small amount, right, like 1 to 200 every month, and you want the dollar cost average. Now, because your smaller dollar amount may not make up to the full share, right, then what happens with fractional investing is that they break up your shares so that you can buy like 0.01 or even smaller units, so that you can maximize your dollar on the dollar cost average plan. Now, the other alternative is actually to buy this ticker called S27 in the Singapore Stock Exchange. So this ticker S27 actually tracks the S&P 500 Index as well. But you must understand that for this ticker, there is actually a minimum lot size, which is 10 shares per transaction. And this is actually denominated in US dollars, right? So we are looking at around more than $4,000 per transaction. So if we are talking about dollar cost average every month, then I think this may not be a really cost effective way, because not everyone could shell out 4,000 USD every month to dollar cost average using SRS. But the good thing about buying S27, of course, is that it has no excess fee, so you don't have to pay like your management fees every month, right? But the downside is there is no fractional shares, and you have to do the foreign currency transaction yourself, so you will actually suffer a bit on that because of the no fractional shares trading strategy, right? We are talking about minimum lot of 10 shares per transaction. So this is it, right? The three funding sources: cash, CPF, and SRS. How you could invest in the S&P 500 Index. I already shown you the tickers on what you could buy in, and also using CPF or SRS, one of the options as well, because some of these are for tax planning purposes. So if you have not signed up for your stockbroker such as Tiger Broker or Moomoo Broker, then do use my referral link down below to get your 1 free Apple stock. And if you have found value from this video today, do help me click a like button. Just takes 1 second of your time at the bottom, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't. Also join us over at our Honey Money Telegram group at HoneyMoneySG, and do check out my Endowus video over here, because I will show you how I use my CPF to actually invest in Endowus, which I think is quite interesting for you guys, right? Instead of letting CPF sit around by itself earning 2.5% in the ordinary account. With that, thank you for watching. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.